Now, Wisconsin socialist gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong backpedaling her 2019 tweet claiming she was on the verge of an anxiety attack at regional burger joint Culver's because there were, quote, too many old white people who didn't think we spoke English. Now she dismisses her comment as a silly tweet. Even going on to say, quote, if Tom Tiffany and Republicans want to spend their time manufacturing outrage about jokes tweeted 7 years ago, that's their choice on how they spend their time and energy. Over in Michigan, progressive Abdul El-Sayed caught deleting YouTube videos thanks to a CNN investigation, including one where he said 4th of July fireworks suck, and another saying we should eliminate the Second Amendment. His campaign responding to CNN saying in part, cherry-picked comments from old podcasts don't reflect his beliefs today. Well, here now is former Jill Biden press secretary Michael LaRosa. Michael, great to see you. Lot of effort here to try to erase past comments. You're the politics guy. I'm not. Is that possible? Is that going to work on voters, or are they going to look at these guys and say, you won't own your past, and if you won't own your past, how can I give you a future in politics?
Well, I think what it does, it affirms suspicions and skepticism about a lot of these candidates who have said really either troubling things or surround themselves with people who say very troubling things, or have come out and posted or tweeted things that most Americans, or let's just say mainstream America, feels are very out of touch and sort of very unrelatable. And that's why I think it's important for Democrats in what I call the more normal wing, the pro-growth, pro-innovation, pro-Israel, pro-democracy wing. It's important for us to challenge and stand up to these things, to these people who really don't reflect the vast majority of Democratic voters, but may represent a small, noisy minority. But it's still important for us to challenge them because it makes us look less credible with voters when these people on the fringes speak for us.
I know you're a Democrat. This is your party. You care about this. Do you think?
I do.
Do you think normal Democrats can save their party from the DSA, honestly?
I do. I think it feels a little, it feels a little, what's the word? I think people feel really pessimistic right now because so far, all these elections with DSA members and DSA candidates, there's a lot of hype, but they've been almost all held in blue enclaves and very blue districts that are only going to get bluer. Michigan was kind of like what I call the firewall. It sort of broke that, and just barely. 48% voted for El-Sayed and 48% voted for what I call the more normal Democrat. We still have a little bit to go before it really becomes problematic. At the same time, we've created a foil for Republicans who have, in all fairness, are able to use it against us. It's almost like we don't have to invent the characters they've been painting or telling their voters about for years because we're actually delivering some of those people.
If I said to you, Michael, I just don't see a lot of those good, normal candidates, really compelling, normal candidates out there right now in your party, how would you respond?
Look, I would tell you that I know it feels that way, but as somebody who used to work in media and be a cable news producer, I can tell you that the more provocative attention goes to the more provocative personalities. And they don't represent the entire Democratic Party. And if you look at where this election, where the balance of power will be won and fought, it's going to be in places. There's about maybe 18 toss-up districts. We're not talking about one DSA member in any of those toss-up districts. We're talking about former Wall Street executives, people from the business community who run as Democrats, former Army Rangers, people, former members, military veterans, We're not talking about DSA. Those are going to be the kind of Democrats that make or break the majority in November. Same with the Senate. There's a good choice. There's a choice tonight in Minnesota, I think your home state, between a very progressive challenger, a very progressive candidate, and a much more pragmatic, normal, mainstream, pro-growth, pro-innovation, pro-business member, Angie Craig.
Well, we could leave that discussion for another day. I might have a slightly different view on Angie Craig, but that's for another day. Before you go, I want to get your reaction to this.
Table that.
GOP senators now throwing their support behind the 9/11 families pushing to block New York City Mayor Mandani from attending the 25th anniversary ceremony at Ground Zero. The petition already gathering nearly 84,000 signatures. Watch.
I can't defend anything that guy says.
It might be appropriate if he goes while wearing a paper bag over his head.
His opinions on America's place in the world are pretty different than probably what most of those families feel. He's a disgrace and an embarrassment to the country.
I'm not a fan of his at all. I certainly can understand why some of the families feel that way.
He caused the rub. If you don't feel for those families, we're out in left field.
I just got 20 seconds for you in this one, Michael. I think you're on board with this. Say more.
I am. I was in high school in senior year, 78 miles as those towers fell. I watched them fall. It's really hard to get behind a mayor who's had this imbalance in his rhetoric when it comes to terrorist groups.
Well,
and I think he'd be a lightning rod if he showed up.
Well said. Michael LaRosa, thanks very much. Good to see you.